Hi, good afternoon, and welcome to 24/7 Magazine's webinar, Your Differentiating Asset, Your In-House Staff, sponsored by Technical Prospects. I'm Carrie Forsyth-Stevens, the editor of 24/7 and your host. I'm here with an excellent speaker, Sam Darwish, Chairman of Engineering, Vice President of Operations, Engineer at Technical Prospects. Mr. Darwish is an experienced CT and MRI senior engineer subject matter expert. He's been in the medical imaging industry for 20+ years, working with industry-leading CT and MRI manufacturers, as well as major independent service organizations worldwide. He has extensive experience working in all aspects of the medical imaging industry, including CT and MRI field engineering and level 3 lead technical support. He has dedicated his time to providing expert recommendations to his team of engineers in North and South America, and was also responsible for major strategic projects on CT and MRI systems worldwide. In addition to all that, he's an adjunct professor of medical imaging, focused on the design and functional performance of medical equipment, as well as consistent image quality. Finally, Mr. Darwish earned a bachelor's degree of electrical engineering and a master's degree from the University of Texas. After the presentation, Mr. Darwish will record as many questions as he can live. Throughout the webinar, submit your questions via the Q&A box on your screen. And if Mr. Darwish is not able to answer your questions during today's live event, he will be sure to answer them after the webinar. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce you to today's speaker, Sam Darwish.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sam Darwish, and I am speaking to you from Appleton, Wisconsin. Another beautiful day in Appleton. Hope everybody is healthy and well and having a fabulous work day. Today we're going to talk about a topic that often engineers discuss, administrators talk about, and other executives within the healthcare organization stress as a key for cost saving. So let's dive into imaging talent shortage. It's no secret that our need for imaging engineers is way greater than the number of engineers available in the market. Often, imaging engineers, CT, MRI, NGO, cath lab, thought of as born for the job, not rather learned and trained. Often people think a good engineer is very rare to have. The truth is today, we're going to speak about a process and training that we have implemented within a training academy platform. Also, we're going to share with you a case study of one of the healthcare systems that we've been working with and what the cost saving they realized through this type of training and through building their in-house program. We remain very aware of the challenges we're all facing in healthcare due to the COVID, due to the lack of accreditation, and the lack of available certified training program and standardized training procedures. Therefore, healthcare leaders in biomed, radiology, and hospital administrators overlooked the training and the promoting of the biomed team. When we look at available resources to train biomedical engineer, there is disconnect between the imaging engineers and the biomedical engineers. Often thought they're completely two different profiles. And due to the disconnected training, believed it's not possible to take a biomedical engineer and build their knowledge to the imaging level. We have proved the other way around. Actually, today, with the healthcare systems that we work with, everybody believes that the in-house staff, it's their most differentiating assets. The name of this webinar, it's not just occurred to us. These are words we heard from our customers that trusted us to help them build in-house program. They have seen the difference. They have seen how their biomedical engineer were able to build their capabilities over time to become imaging engineers. So let's look at what we have done so far and how we see this work. Healthcare systems, when we first start talking about biomedical development and biomed to imaging program, their concerns is the lack of the traditional educational training program. There are no structured programs anywhere. There are no tracking system and customized plan for every engineer. There's no scorecard or workshop that could help us elevate engineers level, find exactly where they are through evaluation, then customize an actual portfolio of training for them to build their knowledge. We heard our customers loud and clear when they shared their concerns. So we try to capture everything through developing a customized corporate development programs for every need based on the screening of their biomedical engineers, based on the portfolio of systems they have, the pace, the patient to flow, the number of beds in the hospital, the scan utilizations, and then put a progressive training solution for them. Additional to that, ensuring a proper retention for the developed staff. Training from within, it's not only give you access to the talent. It's not only answer the talent shortage, but you are empowered as a healthcare system to have the capability to increase your response time, to maximize your uptime, to have the freedom that is you are independent, to have that increased loyalty and employee morale. When I evaluate a healthcare system or when I write an academic article about healthcare, I always look at the biomedical team as the most valuable team in the hospital. These are the guys who stick around and do whatever it takes to elevate solutions, to become creative, to carry the heat at the moment of truth. So having that level of loyalty and resilience will make it only more productive to build on these engineers. Let's take a forward looking about what the new paradigm. We're trying to flip the old mindset that bringing an OEM in or that bringing a senior engineer in is the answer for having imaging capability within a healthcare system. Rather, the new mindset is that you train your own team, you train your own biomed team, take them through a journey of learning through a systematic approach, yet maintain customization based on needs. So what do they need to learn and how that learning will be. All the learning, it's happening through a training academy. And that training academy will oversee the process from the minute that the engineer screened, build a profile for the biomedical engineer, and then match the training portfolio needed to the assets in the hospitals. And then start going through a series of training that will be delivered on different method of delivery. We will see as we explore, some will be delivered in person classes, some will be through interactual virtual training academy, some will be done through workshops, or even in the field on-job training when you do your equipment mapping with freshly trained engineer. So the engineer is not anymore attending a course 7 days and that's it, they're experts. Rather, they will have an assigned mentorship, an assigned mentor. And then we evaluate their level after every training. We set their benchmark, and then we start building on that. So if somebody never learned MRI, never seen MRI before, magnetic resonance, then they will need to go through the basics and the hands-on, and of course, safety, and then the system course, and we go through the phases accordingly. However, that doesn't mean the individual have to go to school for 7 months before they touch a machine. After the basics, immediately we provide service essentials. After that, they will be able to do preventive maintenance. They will be able to participate in service events. Because through the training academy and the mentorship program, the cost saving is immediate. Even through the development, after the first 2 courses, they will be able to take calls. The minute they receive the call, they log in through our app to their mentor. Their mentor will be live with them and we will be able to access and see the system. Live troubleshooting is the most effective, especially when you have a mentor on the line, because the mentors are actually national technical support engineers from our engineering oversight committee. They're seasoned individuals that provide that learning environment, because learning, the brain enters survival mode under stress. And when we are stressed, we are the most focused, but not necessarily we are at our most learning aspects. So we want to take that stress away. The system is hard down, your engineer working on it, our national tech support in the background, working with them. Decrease the level of stress, give them the learning opportunity. Solve the problem, and we carry on. With some healthcare system, the training academy even participated to the uptime, have a guaranteed uptime, offering a guaranteed uptime. That because we know the model works. That because we have trust and faith in the biomedical engineer. With the right guidance, they would achieve great successes. I remember first we're talking about this, staying working late in the office. We're sitting myself and our chief executive officer, Jeremy Probst. He's also the son of our founder, that we live his vision every single day, as well as an engineer himself by education. We were sitting and we were discussing this model before we were all out. And I remember Jeremy's word, where we need a third eye. Yes, we have the capability to build all this and train the engineers, but we need a yardstick. We need a third eye that is independent, that could help us maintain certain level of consistency. That's when the accreditation come into account. So all these aspects of a training through the training academy that I shared with you, the courses in person, the courses through the interactive virtual training academy, the workshops, the on-job training, and the live technical support 24/7, it's all accredited by the Association for Advance of Medical Instrumentation, which is the highest institutes in the United States and frankly worldwide that certify adult learning in engineering. So with that, with having a third eye, maintaining consistency, provided 8 credit units per day. That means it's as effective, the education we provide, as effective as engineering school when it comes to the credit unit. So to ensure we have a standardization, we made the investment and we went with all in with all our courses to be AAMI certified in all our courses. That helps administrators to make decision on the accumulated training. Biomed engineers will have a portfolio of certified courses. They have certification not approved by us, approved by AAMI, not just by a one technical institutes, but rather by a world-renowned organization. So if the biomed engineers switching hospitals, if for any reason the engineer wants to show the accumulated knowledge they have literature of certified trainings that they can provide accordingly that cement and speak for their level of knowledge. Now let me talk a little bit about why we made the delivery different. Why not all in person? Frankly, to be able to modernize the classroom, to be able to bring the classroom to the student, we invested in something called Interactive Virtual Training Academy. This is a fully interactive and not recorded. This is instructor-led. And frankly, the student from anywhere in the world can write in the whiteboard in the classroom. Today, this is unique property of technical prospects. We offer it, but not many do. So to decrease downtime and to keep the engineers in the hospitals where they belong, we have created a harmony of training. There are sometimes, based on their customized courses, a learning experience, they will come to Appleton for an in-class work, and there will be other times in which they learn through the Interactive Virtual Training Academy, and so on and so forth with the workshops and with the on-job training. So with this model that we provided the market over the last 2 years, we're able to actually participate and do our part in putting an end to the imaging engineer shortage. This is just the beginning. We'll continue to support healthcare system to this capacity. So with that, we want to share a case study about actual numbers. We have talked about how is the continuum of learning could happen and how we would take an engineer with us through the journey of learning and how we would customize the program based on the hospital and its effectiveness. So let's talk about the case study of building an in-house solution. The case study is one of our customers, one of our healthcare systems that worked with us to move away completely from the OEM. And they wanted the solution immediate. So they want us to flip a switch and immediately we will be depending 100% on their in-house team. So to approach that, we did the following. We entered a 5-year engagement. And through that, our field engineers were taking care of the equipments to ensure no interruption to patient care and to ensure proper uptime. Our field engineers are all certified engineers, and that's what they are been doing for years. So we have done, at the same time, work with the Engineering Oversight Committee and the Training Academy of Technical Prospects, and we've been able to identify 3 effective methods of training. Training courses, which all AAMI certified, advances gradually based on the continuous skill level evaluation. Each student will have a scorecard. And we will review quarterly with them and with their leaders. Based on that, we add more building blocks. We also have a progressive on-job training, and you have a major thing like shimming. You have a major thing like you're replacing gradient coil. Even our field engineers, they will need product support engineers and national tech support engineers with them. So when the opportunity comes in your training system, we will send the right staff, we will have your engineers there, and we would do exactly what we do for our own engineer to build accumulated knowledge. Magnet de-icing, the same thing. Technical prospective cryogenics, been doing great work over the last few years, and then soon it will be even more offering coming for those who trying to learn more about MRI cryogenics. Workshops, it's a checkpoints that we add every 2 months, in which it will be strictly the mentor and the engineer. And then what they would do, they would pick events either in continuous developments or events that we felt the engineers overstressed in the field or did not perform exactly how we want him. Of course, immediately we bailed him out by sending one of our regional engineers or through accessing remotely through our interactive virtual or any aspect, patient care already taken care of, and the system is up and running. However, we felt the engineers need to know more why he couldn't troubleshoot that problem. So this 100% confidential workshops works perfectly. And they sit and they discuss, and we go from there. Of course, it all contribute to their overall learning. In this particular in-house program, and we are looking at 150 pieces of equipment, we were harmonizing a team of 6 engineers, 2 CTMR engineers, 2 X-ray, nuke med, and cath angio, and 2 special projects. Special project is your ultrasound, your mammo, your injectors, so on and so forth. Now, every healthcare system, and we offer the analytics services, the consulting services through technical prospects consulting. And pretty much they would map your healthcare system, they would analyze your labor utilization, they will look at your patient flow in the hospital, similar to the method to find how many nurses you need. And then based on that, we will know how many engineers you need. And then we will put the recommendation. Then we would do a vetting process if you want us to identify whom from your biomed would be the most fit and the most willing to go through the learning. We found out the best amount for that particular customer is each engineer will take 3 courses per year. hours of on-job training will be increased gradually. We don't want the engineer immediately to get in the field with the instructor. Rather, we will build that. We'll give them, the more they take from first calls, the more we will have them to shadow seniors and to shadow product support engineers. So in this particular case study, we projected the following saving. At the end of year one, we had the 51,000, then the 154, then the 270, 57, then the 360s. Frankly, we're right on the mark of year three, and we are exceeding the projected numbers. Everything at Technical Prospect, just like we taught by our founders, and just like our CEO wants us to remain, again, we're the Midwest. So for us, everything has to be transparent and nice. And those are the values that we live every single day. So we share all the calculations of savings with hospital executives, with program leaders, so they have enough knowledge about what we do and how that directly impacts cost saving. This model doesn't just work for small healthcare systems, few hundreds. We scaled it up in other areas in which we needed 4 engineers. For CTMR, we needed 7 engineers. For X-ray, nuke, med, and cath NGO, and up to 6 engineers in ultrasound, mammo, and special projects. Similar training aspects. Larger team, larger cost saving. Found out we're like at $500,000 in year one. We're at 714 at year two. 1 million in year three. We're at the one at the year three mark, and we are at 1.2. So we're exceeding our projected numbers. Every program is customized to the needs and the capabilities. However, all the programs we build have one end results. That's at the end of year 5, the customer fully capable of servicing their imaging. That service support for difficult scenarios is still available to customer. You have a difficult problem that required an RF interference, noise, an MRI, so on and so forth. You would require more experienced engineer. You have the support immediate because you are entering a preferred customer status and we're training your guys. You have a 24/7 technical support available. And with that, these are not individuals that they're gonna work late or they're sleeping and they take the call when you call. We sell parts. We're the largest Siemens part provider worldwide. So we have shifts. Their job to do support at night because they were sleeping in the morning. So there are available resources for you 24/7, actual resources. Because if they are speaking to UK or they are speaking to Turkey or they are speaking to Japan, that's their shift. And you call at 1 o'clock in the morning, it's just normal call for them because they're already in their regular shift. Even after you're done with your training and your guys are independent, we'll continue the workshops. We'll continue the continuous development because either you will add new staff members or you will have new equipments. And now we have to add few courses to cover this for you guys. And with that long-term partnership that we enter together, we will also have what I call retention matrix. And the retention matrix is pretty much how you retain your team members. You educated them, they went the extra mile for the healthcare system. Beside all this knowledge, where else we would offer them to develop, to remain retained, and to maximize morale? Our team of experts will work with you on all these details. Hope you find this webinar helpful. And as always, here at Technical Prospects, we're all at your service, ready to answer any question you may have. I'll pause and we'll start taking questions.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sam. Now we'll do a brief Q&A session. Below is the first question. After developing the in-house development process, how do you maximize retention?
Okay, that's a fabulous question. Actually, we work with every healthcare systems on their scenarios. What we do, as we are building the scorecard, we're collecting from the engineers over 5 years. So we already have knowledge with them. And then when we see red flags, when we see a fatigue situation or stress environment, we change the course, or we speak to the leaders and we make sure they are more aware of the situation. So we help customize. We have a full solution, and we meet with the leaders of the healthcare systems periodically to ensure proper handling.
Cool. Thank you so much. Okay, and the next one is, with everything going on in all other industries, do you believe we will see an artificial intelligence solution for clinical engineering, similar to what happened in the medical field?
That's a great question. I actually been asked this question maybe 10 times this year, especially in academia. I actually do, and I talked about this in 2008 as well, and then 2012, and a couple summits. And pretty much, I believe we will have, in our lifetime, an artificial intelligence arm, similar to what happened today in medicine. The first thought, when I say this, the first thought to the audience, it would be, but these systems is so complex, how we would be able to put the problem and then the machine or the artificial intelligence device or the app will tell us what to do. Frankly, it's done on human even more complex than machines. Today, we have something called telemedicine. It's been seeded for years that there's some early adapters been working on this in healthcare for telemedicine. It started in UK. We have seen it in Rwanda, and now it's in the US and working with major healthcare system providers. There are out there artificial intelligence arms that works on healthcare. We will see something very similar to telemedicine, but for medical equipment. And who knows, maybe Technical Prospects will be the pioneer in that.
Thank you. Wonderful. And here's a great one. With the medical imaging sector having a talent shortage, what group are we recommending be utilized through progressive training that previously may have been overlooked for servicing medical imaging systems?
That's a fantastic question. I would say, look at your in-house team, especially those who work hard. Don't worry about the level of complexity of systems that they work on. The journey of learning, we have the capability to develop, but the student would need hard work, resilience, study. And those group is you could find them in your healthcare organization, in the biomed. Not today, maybe they don't even fix complex systems, but they have it in them. They have that loyalty to the healthcare system. They know, as I used to say in my field days, happened to me multiple times. I have my daughter one time slept on a CT table that I already calibrated 2 days before, and I have my father in the last period of his life spent times taking scans and MRIs that I shimmed and calibrated. So those individuals in the biomed, that they do it because they know their family will be there. They know that they're so attached to the mission. Those are the ones that you select. You don't need to worry about the rigor or what they know today. We take care of that. Just pick the loyal ones, pick the ones that they are attached to the healthcare systems, and we do the rest.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I want to conclude by saying thank you to our presenter who did a wonderful job, as well as our audience members and our sponsor, Technical Prospects. Today's webinar is being recorded, so you may rewatch for any time in the next year using the same link you used to log on today. And feel free to share the link with any colleagues who may have missed today's live event. Also, please email me at kstevens, and that's Stevens with a PH, at medcor, medqor.com with comments, questions, and future webinar suggestions. And be sure to visit us at www.247xmag.com. Thanks again for participating in 24/7 Magazine's webinar, your differentiating asset, your in-house staff. Have a wonderful day.